It is NCAA tournament time in men's hockey across the country, and for the 15th straight season, the University of North Dakota is part of the festivities. North Dakota getting their West Regional started tomorrow on Friday against Boston University in a matchup of the number 6 team in the nation versus number 10. We welcome you now inside Scheels Arena in Fargo, getting set for that West Regional alongside Greg Enkers from Midco Sports Network. I'm Alex Heinert. Greg, UND enters this weekend playing some of their best hockey of the season. It has been a little bit of an up and down season for UND as compared to last year, in which they were dominant really from start to finish, but still this team just 4 wins away from another national championship.
Yeah, it really felt like the game against Denver last weekend in Minneapolis was probably their best 60 minutes of the season, and despite the loss against UMD in the Frozen Faceoff Championship, I think they've set themselves up to be playing with some momentum going into this tournament. And while it is a little bit different this year compared to last year they were the number 1 overall team coming in. They were the odds-on favorite to win it all last year and wound up doing so. This year, a little bit more, I think, what UND fans historically are used to, needing that win on the final weekend to officially punch their ticket. I think that's something that fans are used to. I think that that's something that a lot of these veterans are used to. Brad Berry's certainly no stranger to that, and I think that that can benefit them going into the West Regional.
Yeah, that win against DU in the Frozen Faceoff semis, again, the first time they had won a game at the Frozen Faceoff, which was a big deal. Also capped up a 5-game winning streak, their longest streak since the start of the season. What about the last couple of weeks, Greg, that you've seen has this team playing so well right now?
Well, I think it starts, with Cam Johnson. I think this time of the year especially, you hear about it all the time. A hot goaltender can steal a game, and while UND certainly has the offensive firepower up front where they don't necessarily need their goaltender to steal one, I think it starts with him. And I think the confidence that he got, again, going back to that Denver game, I think that will parlay into the West region here in Fargo.
Yeah, you mentioned Cam at the back is playing great. Certainly the guys at the front are starting to pick it up as well. Brock Besser, since going on that 9-game scoring drought, has been red hot. His last 9 games with 11 points and 5 goals. Tyson Jost had a hand in each one of the goals scored in that Frozen Faceoff performance, a goal and a couple of assists. Those guys have been so good. Shane Gersich obviously in the NCHC in goals. It's a matter of now, can they carry that over? Can they keep that going here when the pressure's on most?
Well, I think the fact that a lot of those guys have gone through some injury bugs and are now healthy, I think, is going to help. And one player, of course, that everybody's eyes are on this weekend is number 3, Tucker Poolman. And he's out practicing, warming up with the team right now as we speak, and looks pretty good. We don't fully know the extent of his injury, but he's out there with the guys. Coach Brad Berry has said that he expects him to be ready to go this weekend. And I think the fact that they've got the guys back healthy again, Brock Besser has looked like his old self again. I think those are big keys going into this weekend. Yeah,
certainly some things to watch for from the injury standpoint. Again, Friday at 2 o'clock, the West Regional game will be against Boston University, a familiar opponent. BU, again, along with North Dakota, 2 of the most storied programs in the nation. For this BU team coming in, it's going to be a hostile environment, certainly in this place. It essentially is a home game here in Fargo for the University of North Dakota. How big of a deal is this home field advantage for UND?
I think it's huge. I remember being here 2 years ago when UND hosted in this building for the first time, and the atmosphere, for those that have been to the Ralph, you've experienced that. You know how of an intimidating environment that is. This really ratchets it up to a different level. You've got the diehards here, the rabid fans here. Everybody knows it's win or go home, and everything gets heightened up. It's intimate with about 5,500 people in here, standing room only. It's going to be nuts. And BU has been battle tested. A lot of their guys played in the World Junior Tournament in Canada and had to face some hostile crowds. I don't know if they've ever seen anything like this. Now, that certainly helps tip the scales in UND's favor, but I think getting off to a quick start is going to be key. If BU gets on the board first and kind of takes some of this energy out, it's going to be a big factor tomorrow.
Boston University has allowed the first goal in each of their last 9 games. UND would love to continue that trend on Friday. Here's a quick look now at what the players and David Quinn from Boston University and the guys and Brad Berry from UND have to say about this one.
If you're an elite hockey player and you're serious about being an elite athlete, this is a game you want to play in. You get to play North Dakota and Fargo in front of their home crowd. It's going to be a heck of an atmosphere against a really good hockey team, well coached with a lot of good players, and certainly a lot of people are going to be watching on ESPN2 as well. So it's going to be a great weekend of hockey.
Anytime you can come into a building like this and have everyone cheering against you, I think it really fires you up, and I think we're really looking forward to it, and it's going to be a great experience.
Being so close to Grand Forks and, our fans being able to travel here easily makes for a great atmosphere for us, and I'm sure we'll see a lot of green shirts in the crowd.
Boston University is a very fast, skilled offensive team, and I think we like to compare them to Denver. We played Denver a few times this year, and they're really up and down the ice. They transition well, and they have a lot of offensive power and high-end guys on the top end. So it's got to match them very physically and check tightly through the neutral zone, and hopefully keep good gaps there and just play a strong game against them.
They have a lot of dynamic players up front and also on the back end too. And again, it's one of those situations where you have to identify who's on the ice at what times, and you got to make sure that you don't give that team a lot of time and space all over the ice, because they can make plays. And it's no different than the teams we see in our NCHC. You see Denver and Duluth, and the list, Western Michigan, a high offensive power team. That's the beauty of the NCHC, is that we've been in it for the last 6 months of battling against top teams, and Boston University is a top team. So again, like I said, it should be a great matchup tomorrow.
Boston University, a 23-win team. Again, 8 players on their roster, first or second round draft picks. 10 guys total picked into the NHL. A ton of talent on this group. North Dakota, of course, no slouch in that regard as well. We expect really a fun, fast-paced, exciting hockey game here at Scheels Arena on Friday.
As you mentioned, it's 2 of the all-time powerhouse teams going head-to-head here tomorrow afternoon. It's going to be a great atmosphere. Again, I go back to look at how the game is going to start. I think the first goal is going to be very telling, and I expect UND to capitalize on the atmosphere and come away with the W tomorrow.
Well, you heard it here from Greg Enkers first. The winner, of course, will take on the winner of Minnesota Duluth, the number 3 team in the nation. They're taking on Ohio State in the nightcap on Friday. You can catch this game, UND Boston U, on ESPN2 again, 2 o'clock on Friday in round 1 of the West Regional. For Greg Enkers, I'm Alex Heinert. Thanks for watching. Catch all the highlights of this one on next week's edition of North Dakota Hockey with Brad Berry on Midco Sports Network.